Hi, Scorpio Sun and Rising. Welcome to a video on the Jupiter transit of Pisces, which is occurring for a time in 2021 and then full on in 2022. This is Raina, and you are so lucky, you guys, because you are the ones that are going to have this wonderful transit through the fifth house, which is a house of pleasure. The fifth house is the house of love, romance. So if you're single, this is a great year for you. Or, when I say year, it's actually going to encompass both 2021 for a certain period of time and in 2022, but you know what I mean. And this is the house of creativity, the house of children, and they didn't mention it on cafeastrology.com, where I compiled this list, or which I used to compile this list. But it's also supposed to be the business that you own, so that should be really good as well. So Jupiter's the planet that's like Santa Claus, and it kind of enhances or expands whatever house that's transiting through. It kind of blows it up. It gives you more of it. So more opportunities, more experiences. It's also connected with money, so it can bring profit in a certain area and so on and so forth. So when Jupiter transits the fifth house in Pisces, you have more fun awaiting you. By the way, let me just give you the rough dates of when Jupiter is going to be here. So Jupiter is currently, as I record this, at the beginning of June of 2021 in Pisces. It's going retrograde on June 20th, and it will go back into Aquarius at the end of July of 2021, and then stay in Aquarius until December. And then going into 2022, it's going to be in Pisces again. So for Scorpios, this is a fellow water sign. It's the one that's ahead of you. So if you can picture the chart in your mind and you are the first house, it's going to be the fifth house. It trines you. This is the most fortunate, easiest aspect. So when we talk about easy and difficult, we're talking about in terms of manifestation or cooperation, like how when you combine two elements, do they work in tandem, or are they kind of fighting each other like a square or an opposition, at loggerheads, or are they flowing together like a trine? Sextiles are also positive. A little bit more elbow grease is needed to manifest, but still is a very positive angle as well. And so thinking about it from that angle, pun intended, this is just, it's like fun flowing to you. It's like romantic experiences easier to have if you've had kind of a drought with your love life, Scorpio. If you're a single person, you might find that you have more opportunities to meet people. Now, one thing they didn't mention is that this is the area of recreational sex, but they kind of hinted at it because they said that you could meet somebody special if you're single, but the person might not turn out to be somebody that is a permanent partner type of person. I put the person may not be commitment oriented. And I think one reason why is because the people that you meet, they might just be wanting a good time. So you have to, if you're somebody who, let's say you're coming off of the breakup of a serious relationship, if you've been married for a long time and you're just out there for the first time in a long time, you might feel perfectly fine with sowing your wild oats. I don't think many Scorpios do that, though, because you tend to be more serious about all of that, and you're just not the casual type. But there might be a few of you that feel like you're just unfettered and you don't want to necessarily commit to anybody anyhow. This is a period of time where you're going to feel like letting your hair down. And Scorpios, kind of, not that you're uptight necessarily, but you're not necessarily, by the same token, loosey-goosey. You kind of have, I don't know if I call it a reserve, but you are controlled. There is a control because Pluto, one of your rulers, does like to have the upper hand, and sometimes that can make you, like, for instance, kind of keep your cards close to the vest and not really be open with others. And so that can manifest as being a bit unspontaneous, or whatever you want to call it, if that's a word, lacking spontaneity. But this may be a time when you're just kind of like overtaken, because Jupiter tends to overdo things, with joy and just this is the house of children, so that kind of a childlike vibe may just take you over, and you just are, ready to kind of let go of any inhibitions. This is the house of hobbies, things that you do for fun pastimes, not necessarily the things that you're doing to make money, but things that you just enjoy doing on your recreational activities. So you might even be able to make money with such activities. Certainly, if you are creative, this can be a great time for you to be prolific, because Jupiter may expand your creative force and you're producing more art, and even have success with this. And success is a relative term. Doesn't have to be just monetarily. It can be that you're gaining a wider audience, perhaps, something like that. Now, of course, that can also lead to financial gain, but just saying it like that. Another thing that the fifth house can be is like parties and other social engagements. That can be increased at this time. You could be socializing a lot more. And again, you're in this fun mood, so that helps. You could get pregnant this year. I think you have to have certain equipment to do that, though. I think that still is true about life. So just keeping it 100% there. And let me think if there's anything else I wanted to say. Oh, yeah, stock market. The stock market, you can have greater profits. The fifth house is a house of speculation. So I'm sure they're talking about gambling as well. But it's very important with Jupiter that a person doesn't get overly optimistic, because they can overdo it, and then they would have probably spectacular losses, or the potential to do so. So, as far as I'm concerned, investing in the stock market is a form of gambling anyway. I don't know why they separate it. But so you have to use a lot of discretion, because you may feel like doing it. So maybe you look at your portfolio and you see, wow, this is really going up here. I think I'm going to, invest even more. And so I think it's wise to, not get carried away. You may find that you're increasing your stock values, but you want to exert some caution and restraint so that you do not get carried away. But yeah, so this is really great. I'm a Sagittarian, so I'm looking forward to when Jupiter goes into Aries, because then that will be from my particular chart. But you guys get that lucky, fun experience, a taste of it in 2021 and then full blown in 2022. So I hope that you enjoyed this, Scorpio Sun and Rising. If you would like a personal reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.